so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Linda Carbonell and the great Mary Adams. Things that Mary does in the summertime, plus some of the things that I do too. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. I'm looking forward to it, Mary. You were telling me something about a bikini project. I'm going
Yes,
to hear about
this is a
this.
fabulous story. This is
Okay.
a fabulous story. I can't wait to tell it. Thanks for having me on the show, Linda.
Yeah, this is great.
It's great. So here's how it goes. So one year, I guess it was probably about 8 years ago, I was challenged by one of we called them butt kickers or sacred mirrors in one of my apprenticeship programs that I was in at the time. And so she asked me, I always wore a one piece and I would cover myself up and I was really shy about my body. And she said, "You are a beautiful woman. What is going on here with you?" And I said, "Well, I've had 3 kids and I've got a few stretch marks and my body's not exactly what it used to be, especially growing up in Santa Monica, bikini town. It wasn't like that anymore. And I was a little embarrassed and I didn't want to show my body in that way. And so this wonderful friend of mine decided that we were going to go on a trip. And so we went out to the beach and we went for a 3-hour ride. And she brought me to a bikini shop and she said, "Guess what?" And I said, "Whoa, wait, whoa, what are we doing here?" She said, "You are going to get a bikini."
Oh, no.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I figured it would be fun. I could wear it in the house. I could wear it, in the hotel where we were staying at, and then I could just cover up and go out to the beach. Well, that wasn't exactly her idea.
Mhm.
Her goal with me was to get me as comfortable as she could in being myself
Mhm.
and having that opportunity to break free from that agreement. And so that opportunity changed my entire world and my entire life, because what I realized is that I wasn't only holding myself back from wearing a bikini, I was holding myself back from all sorts of things out of shame and embarrassment of what I thought my body was perceived to be by other people,
Yep.
rather than just loving myself.
Mhm.
And I think that's a great thing to talk about
Yeah.
on this segment, is how do we love this
Mhm.
during the summer and allow ourselves to do those things we keep holding ourselves back from.
Exactly. I think that's an awesome thing to talk about. And I know I've struggled with this a lot in my younger years. And now it's like I want to be just me. So if I'm comfortable in a bikini, and I feel like I look good. Now I haven't gone as far as getting a bikini for myself yet because I have to find one that fits. Anyway, I have to find a store that specializes in that. So that's something that I want to do. But also, I want to talk a little bit about something that I do every spring here is, I do a fashion show. And I just love it, showing off my new clothes that I bought over the wintertime for spring or for summer. It's just, it's a lot of fun. So I do one in the spring, and then I'm going to do one in the summer, and then I'll do one in the fall. And it makes me feel really good. And oftentimes in our lives, we do have people that stigmatize us and what we're supposed to look like or what we do look like, or they judge us for what we're wearing. I've often heard people complain about big people wearing leggings or shorts or, shirts that are low cut or whatever. And it's just because if you think about it, this is the way I think about it, okay? It's not us that have the problem. It's the people that are saying it that has the problem. So if we just disconnect from ourselves, because we know what we are, we know how beautiful we are, and then we disconnect from the negative people that probably just aren't happy in their lives. So judging others is just, it makes them feel a little bit better because they don't have to concentrate on their own stuff. And I just want to make sure
Yeah.
it's a good message to think about, because it's not just big people that are being taunted about the way that they dress, but it's everybody. It's everybody. It's men, it's women, it's children, and this idea of a supermodel, I just don't. Yeah, and can you imagine how much they have to do for the supermodel? It's like they brush paint or whatever to make them look better. That's what,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what society had gotten to. But I think we're awakening now into being our true selves, and that's something that I would love to talk about that today, being the authentic, true self that we are. So, Mary, you want to tell us a little bit about your authentic self, what you really feel about some of the things in your life? What's important to you, and what do you like to do in the summertime? What brings you joy in the summertime? you know.
Well, for me, the summer is a wonderful experience to be in nature, and I'm fortunate to live in the country, deep in the heart of the country. I'm fortunate to have lots of wild animals and a river nearby, and to be in that natural environment a lot daily. And so I spend a lot of time thinking and reflecting and writing. And it's funny because every year, what for me is, it's the expansion process, something new, new things to try, new things to do. And so there's a lot of bucket list items on my summer list. And one of those is to learn how to snorkel. I have never actually learned how to snorkel in all of these years, and it's time.
Yeah.
And I think that, we're always in our interviews, we're always talking about happiness. And so for me, I think that what this summer, the theme of it is to keep expanding that happiness in new ways, keep trying new things, and break that agreement, like the bikini experiment, break that agreement about the things that I shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't do, and really reevaluate and go out there and have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what life's for. That's what we're here for.
Right. We're here to please ourselves. We're here to to show the world our true selves. And this is one of the ways that we can do it. I mean, I know in the summertime that I can absolutely go out and walk, and I absolutely love to walk, but then I dread the wintertime. So then I start thinking, like last year, I started thinking, well, what can I do in the wintertime since I can't go out walking the way that I'd like to in the summer and the spring? So I did come up with something, and that was to go to the hospital up here that has, like a third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor. And on the fourth and fifth floor, there isn't many people there, so you can walk back and forth there. And I did that during my functional restoration program. But that brings me joy. Yeah, that brings me joy, and I found it in the wintertime. So I'm really, really grateful for that I keep trying new things. It's like I said about the fairy garden, you start out with just one little flower and all of a sudden it grows. You should see how much stuff I got to go in my fairy garden this year. I can't wait to be able
That's great.
I know. I can't wait to be able to take pictures and bring them into you so you can see them.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, and that's what brings true joy in our life, is when we keep expanding into our activities. And, like another piece that I've never tried, and I probably will never do. Here's a good example of things I won't do, but I'm going to find a way to participate. Water skiing.
Oh,
There's
well.
no way I ever should get on water skis, but I can sit in the boat. I can be part of the experience. And so that's another goal that I have this summer, is to have that experience through somebody else. And, summer is such an awesome time of year anyways, the aliveness of the earth and how things, the heat and the water and the animals.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful time to expand. What are you planning on doing to expand your summer this year?
I think that, my husband, he gets his fishing license and he goes fishing all the time. And I always tell him, well, I don't fish, so, you can go and I'll just stay home. I think this year I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm probably going to be going fishing with him just to keep him company, and bring lunch and stuff like that. And he says, "Well, are you going to put because I'm afraid of worms." He says, "Are you going to put a worm on the hook this year, or are you going to do that?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't think so." But then I said to myself, "Well, this is a challenge. Maybe you should try it." So I don't know, but I don't want to hook up a worm. I don't like that. Maybe I can use some other kind of bait.
See, that's what I do. I just use a different kind of bait, and I do it my way.
Yep.
And I have a deal with the person I go with. They have to help me get the hook out of the fish and put it so I can put it back correctly. It's a squeamish thing, but you breaking that agreement, and what's going to happen is it's going to bring you and your husband closer.
Oh, yeah.
Gives
for
you
sure.
that opportunity that rocks.
Mhm.
And I love to fish anyways, just being out in the nature.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, and we do take nature walks. I'd love to take nature walks. We've got a park up in um, Norwich up here. It's a great park. It's got like pine trees, and they've got like a boat dock. You can go fishing there, and there's all kinds of picnic areas down there. And I just love that area. And I was doing some meditation around. Being able to settle yourself in special places that you want to go. And when I was doing the meditation, so I'm visualizing a path up there at that spot with the not pine cones, but pine needles all over the ground, and the pine trees around like this. And so in my meditation, I started walking down a very narrow path. And so from there, just walking and enjoying the nature, seeing the skunks, the birds, the squirrels, and, maybe even seeing a deer. But yeah, that's some of the meditation stuff that I've been working on, is to see more, even if it's not right in front of me, to be able to see it in my mind. And I just think that's a gift. And, it's kind of like dreaming,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful experience. And the tuning in that way, your sensations are stronger in different ways that you would never realize
Yeah.
when you're in that kind of space. And it's so relaxing and so comforting. Good for you, Linda.
Yeah.
I can't tell you enough. And meditation, it's different for everybody. There are millions of different ways to meditate. There is not just one way. And so it's it's a great way to expand that. Sometimes at a stoplight, I will meditate with my eyes open.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
things like that.
yeah, because I've always said that too. Is I thought it was you had to close your eyes and just be sitting in one place or whatever. But I find walking, just going out walking, and the meditation for me is to actually look around and notice and see what's going on. As far as like nature or flowers, pay attention to the flowers around. It's like that song, "Pick Up a Rose," or I don't remember what the song was, but anyway, finding the beauty. And in life, no matter where you are, or no matter, you could find nature nowhere where you go, or you can create it yourself by growing flowers or growing vegetables or whatever it is. There's always beauty out there. It's just stopping to take a look and noticing it. And with our rushed lives, I think that can be very hard, But, me being off in the summertime and having 5 weeks where I'm not really too busy. That's the days that I like to really create my special times. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
and the summer is great. It's a time for slowing down a little bit and taking notice and jumping in.
Yeah.
It's a powerful. So, Linda, do you go to the beach? Are you a beach person or a river person or a water person? What do you do for water sports?
I am absolutely a water person. I have been the majority of my life. I love to swim in the rivers. When I lived in Plymouth, my hometown, California, they didn't have really any rivers, so it was usually going to a school. What I really like to do is I like to go up north with my sister, go to my sister's house, and she's got the beautiful waterfalls and the big rocks, and like this one place called Diana's Bath, and you walk up there and it's exactly what it sounds like. There's a waterfall, and then there's these rock pools, I should say, rock pools where you can go in and just sit in there or swim in there or whatever you want. And I tell you, the water just feels so much different than the regular river water. It just brings me joy. It's just like, I don't want to leave, I don't want to leave there. You've got like butterflies coming in, birds, it's like, and I always find that no matter where I am, whether it's in a big city or a small city, it's kind of like I can smell it and I sense it and I find it, And I'm just so grateful that the true me came out of where I was when it felt safe for me to only be behind four doors. And I just can't tell you how grateful I am to be able to have moved beyond that and challenged myself to be like I am today. It's a wonderful feeling. It really is. And
It is. I grew up in the deep in the heart of the city with concrete all around. I didn't, and I had the fortunate opportunity that, my parents would take us camping once in a while. So I got to see what real nature was. But I strived for it my whole life. And it took me, my gosh, it took me 30 years to get to a place where I could get to that environment. And Linda, it changed me. It completely transformed my life. And at moments, it still feels like Green Acres,
yeah,
that
Green
show,
Acres, yeah,
the city girl in the country. And I
yeah,
go, oh, and especially because I'm single, I got to handle everything.
yeah, yeah,
But the freedom of being in a natural environment and immersing yourself in that on a regular basis, it's known to heal you, mind, body, and spirit.
absolutely.
And I think that's, yeah, it's a great
That's why I live
point
in
as far as
Vermont.
that summer fun piece.
That's why I live in Vermont. You got some beautiful
Yeah.
nature scenes here, yeah. This is a great,
Yeah.
great state to live in. Vermont is. I really, really think that we're getting a lot of new people moving into Vermont just for that because there's just too much pollution, too much of anything that is harmful to us. So I think people are looking into ways to get back into nature. And I think that's great. I don't have a car, so I like, I prefer not to and just walk, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be great, Mary, if sometime, I can take a walk around, maybe bring the camera, or we could film some of my walking and then have you take your camera, film some of your walking. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And we can kind of share that, what it's like in your place and then what it's like here in mine. And we could bring that to the viewers to say, hey, there it is. Here it is, I mean,
Absolutely. I think we totally should.
Yeah. We got a lot of good ideas, don't we?
Oh, we do. We have enough ideas to last us a lifetime, Linda. And you know what? That's great. I think that's the true life expansion piece. That's what keeps me alive and keeps me moving and keeps me young is that I am constantly being in pretend and then creating it.
Exactly.
I'm no longer a child that has to sit there and go, well, maybe someday. Now I can play pretend and I can actually go do it.
Yeah, you know
And
what
that,
Oh, I was going to say, what I like to use as like a pretend that I like to do too is that I absolutely love to dance. I love to dance. And so one of the things that, I don't go out dancing, I don't go clubbing because I'm a recovering alcoholic, so I don't do that. So I create an environment within my house that I can go dancing every single night if I want to, or, try to get my husband to participate in that with me, And so I put on the oldies, I love the oldies. And so, I'll dance around. If he wants to dance with me, he can. If he doesn't have to. But that's my time. I like to do that, and I do it. I love it. It makes me happy.
Linda, what are you referring to as the oldies? Just let's be clear with the audience so that we know what generation we're talking about here.
Well, oldies to me are definitely the 50s, the 60s, and then the 70s is when I grew up. So I'd say anywhere from the 50s on to the 70s is my era. Well, I wasn't born in the 50s, so I was born in the 60s, but in the 60s, the 50s were old, so, but you were listening to them all the time. Yeah, what about you? What do you like for music era?
Oh, I like everything from classical to heavy metal. I am a music lover and enjoyer from every spectrum. And it's interesting. The reason I say those two is that classical and heavy metal are very much the same in how if you look at music and the actual music, it's very complicated patterns and rhythms mixed all together, just like classical music. And so it's a beautiful thing, and a lot of people will disagree with me, and that's okay. You can disagree with me. I still love you. But it's funny because I was a Girl Scout leader for 12 years.
Wow.
And I had more questions from those kids about, did I see the dinosaurs? that the oldies music is the 80s and 90s. I mean, did I drive a car like the Flintstones?
Yeah.
So I think
Were
it's
you
different.
alive when Mother Mary was? Yeah.
My kids have asked me so many crazy questions. I probably have to write a book just about that.
Yeah.
Things you thought you'd never say as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to write a book about my little adventures in my fairy garden. I just love that thing. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. It's like my inner child comes out every time I think about, and I try to create. I put little things up so I can create it in the wintertime. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, or I go out and buy things, at the thrift stores that will fit perfectly in there. And so music has always been. I mean, my father was a musician, so he played drums. He was a drummer his entire life, and I tried that when I was younger, but I didn't do too good at the drums at all. But I've done a lot of publicity and promoting for, like, when I was younger, I had a boyfriend that was in a band and they needed promoting, and I learned how to do that, and getting them jobs. Actually, I'd get them jobs and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that, and I also learned a process of that through my father. When he would go and do that. So music and he was in country, old country, new country, whatever it was. He was just country, and my husband loves country too. So, and I like it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I like my mother's favorite musician was Rod McEwen. Do you know who that is?
No, who is that?
He was a great singer, and he wrote poetry, and his songs were just poetry, and. Yeah, I'll have to send you some of his stuff, because if you listen to the words to his songs, it's just like magic. It's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
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 And Andy Williams, I like Andy Williams.
Oh, yeah.
He's oldie.
For sure. Here,
Bing
sing a little
Crosby.
Andy Williams for us, Linda.
Oh no, I can't sing him. Well, the reason I can't sing because I would not remember any of the words. I would remember how to dance.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't remember the words, but I do remember Jeremiah Had a Bullfrog. I taught that in school. Did you ever hear that one?
Oh, yeah. Three Dog Night.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met those guys a few years ago.
Did you really?
Awesome people. Yeah. Right
Wow.
before Corey Wells died. I got to
Oh.
go backstage before the show and after the show and got to hang out with them. And we had a really profound conversation about this planet. And Corey Wells said to me, we were talking about, the global work that I do and the global work that they've been doing for a long, long time. And he said, it's more important than ever that everybody speaks up. Everybody talks. Everybody says what they have to say. And, and it empowered me even more to keep doing what I'm doing. It's such an important time for that. Sorry, went off on a tangent there.
No, that's fine. That's what
Jeremiah
we're all
was a bullfrog.
Yeah, isn't that a great song? Yeah. Or
I love it.
people ask me what my favorite dance song is, and I gotta say, I picked it out because my dad always played it, and that's Wipeout. So when you go outside for picnics and barbecues, we put that song on, and Linda's just going all around the driveway. I love it. So I'm dancing out in the driveway. Because that's where my picnic table is. Put the music on, and yeah, anyway, it can't stop me. Anyway, Chico just stuck his head out, which means that we're about. Can you believe the show's? It's already been a half hour.
No.
What do you think we should do for our next show?
Oh, you know what? There are so many different things that we could talk about, Linda. I think that I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm speechless.
I guess we could surprise everybody, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. We come up with that. That's good. Anyway, Mary, I do want to make sure that you have an opportunity to tell everybody your info so that they can find you. I know on my Facebook page you've become very, very popular with people. So, I'm sure they're enjoying all the shows and would like to know a little more about you and So if they can get contact information and how to get a hold of you, and and mention some of your groups that you're doing too, so people can find them too. Okay, and a message.
Sure thing. Sure thing. And so my ending message is this, is that I want to challenge you to go out there this summer and expand. Go have fun. Go do something different. Go take a walk. Go for a swim. Get that bathing suit on. Stop making excuses and get out there and have fun. That's what you need to go do. That's going to bring a lot of happiness. And I want to remind everybody to watch Linda. Linda and I have a show here on CATV8, Life School 101. So make sure that you join us. And we've got all of that on archives as well. And you can join me on Facebook, co-creator Mary Adams. Facebook.com, co-creator Mary Adams, and you can find me on Facebook, and you can also go to Empower Your Life Today on Facebook. That is also one of my pages. And thank you, Linda, for having me on the show. It's always a blast.
It is. We have a lot of fun, don't we? Yeah,
we do. We laugh a lot.
Yeah, and I think my ending message is listen to what Mary just said. I mean, it's just the wisdom that sometimes we just need to pay attention to. Listen, pay attention. I mean, I've learned so much just today from our conversations, from what I said and what Mary said. But anyway, this is Linda Carbonneau, and we are saying goodbye for Walking Through Life today. But we will see you next time on Walking Through Life. Maybe not in a bikini yet, though.
Bye, everybody.
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to